Welcome to Toy Business Unboxed, your gateway to the secrets of the toy industry. Here, Jason Shea, a toy entrepreneur and expert in the
Every
field.
product we develop is really inspired by some of the real life experience that we have with our son, major retailers.
Yeah.
Check. We think this is cool. Is this cool?
The thing with Amazon is just it become more and more complicated over the years.
Yeah, maybe you can also consider to create more online resources.
We'll guide you through the enchanting world of toy design, marketing, and manufacturing. Now let the unboxing begin.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Toy Business Unboxed. I'm your host, Jason Shea. Today, we have a special guest, actually a pair of special guests. Usually, we don't interview two people simultaneously, but today we're making an exception. So, Karalyne and Masa, they are the co-founders of Bene World. Karalyne herself have an incredible journey from co-owning a little dream franchise to creating award-winning educational toys that teach kids value like kindness, respect, and empathy. We'll dive into her transition from the fitness industry to toy development and the surprise that he faced in the industry as she approached on how to market this very niche toy product of hers. And get ready for a very insightful and also very inspiring episode today. Thank you for both of you to be on for the podcast today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
And first of all, can you share with the audience what inspired you to create Bene World and all the different like Bene Bodies toys and products?
Yeah, absolutely. So working with kids my whole life and having 3 boys of my own, I always struggled to find some kind of good reward system to incentivize kids. I tried marbles in a jar. I tried these elaborate sticker charts. I even purchased templates online, these free printable templates, and I would print them out and show them to the kids, and I'd be so excited. And then it would last about a week because it just wasn't fun for them. It wasn't appealing, and they would forget about it, and I would forget about it. So I started thinking about what would be more fun and appealing to have a token reward system in, and that is kind of what led me to come up with the bear, the teddy bear. So it's kind of the universal fun stuffed animal. And so I thought, well, it would be great to make a bear that would have some kind of slot where you could put a token in and maybe have a zippered pouch or some kind of pouch where all those tokens could collect and, basically be a marbles in a jar, but in a plushie and kind of like a piggy bank. And so the original idea was to encourage kids to give back to their communities in some way, whether that was, helping a neighbor or helping mom.
One of you have one of the product on hand that you can also
definitely. We can go through all of that with you. But the original idea for the bear was just to be helpful and do good deeds. And so after Bene World was born, Bene World Toys has a mission of benefiting the world through our toys. And so we have created this Toys with a Purpose line. But after the first Bene Bear was introduced, we started getting a lot of feedback from parents saying, we really like the kindness aspect of this toy. We like the helpfulness. And so that's when we pivoted a little bit and decided to focus on teaching those character traits that you mentioned, like being kind and respectful and being empathetic and teaching kids, what do those words mean? So, my mother came on board as my business partner, and we developed 3 more characters to serve as buddies to the Bene Bear. So that's kind of how everything got started. But we'll show you the characters so you can see the Bene Bear being the flagship product there. Bene Bear obviously comes with the bear, he comes with the storybook, and then the 15 tokens. And Bene Bear's focus is...
I like the new packaging, by the way. I see you guys also spend a lot of time redesigning the packaging, which maybe we can talk about.
We did, for retail, and we wanted to make sure that people understood that it was a token reward system. It wasn't just a plush and a story.
Yeah, I think that's a tricky part because people don't understand what it is.
Right. So, that's really what sets it apart from every other plush and storybook set out there. So you can see Bene Bear's book. He's got really great illustrations, and it's teaching kids in a fun way, what does the word benevolence mean? You know, what does that mean to them, and how do we understand it, and how can we practice it? And teaches them all about being respectful. Today I listened to my teacher in school. So the idea is that when the child shows that trait, demonstrates something that's helpful or kind or empathetic, they earn the token, and the token goes on the top of his head here.
That's the part I always love.
They each have their own token slot. Now, when you get to the golden token, that's something that we introduced. That lets you know that you're getting close to those 15 tokens, and you're getting, this is basically the last token that is earned before you get to in all of your tokens for reward. So the tokens fit in the plushie, and then there's a zippered pouch where the tokens collect, and you can pull them all out and you can reuse them, and then of course trade them in for reward. So that's our Benny Bear. He's got the additional focus of benevolence, and I'll let Martha show you some of the other ones too.
Sure, Karalyne, thanks. So our second one is Sparkle, the rescue dog. And Sparkle, you can see, is packaged similarly. And I'll just hold Sparkle up so that you can see him better. He has a token slot as well. So you put the slogan right in the back of his neck. And the tokens again collect in the pouch. The pouch is right back here. And then you pull the tokens out when you've used all 15. He also has the golden token concept as well, because we feel like that gives children a little bit more of an idea about how they're coming along with the tokens and earning the tokens. So with Sparkle, we use Sparkle for Pets as our book. And Sparkle for Pets tells all about pet care and what you can do to take care of your pet. And so the children are earning tokens for being kind, respectful, also showing other character traits like sharing and things like that. And so Sparkle the Pets reinforce pets.
Well, one thing I want to add, I think a lot of the customers when we first selling the product, working with your company, is they didn't realize it's a rescue dog. So we should talk a little bit about that. It is a rescue dog.
Yes, it's actually based on the Sparkle that we have a picture of at the back of the book. Sparkle's a rescue dog. He was adopted on the last night in his shelter before they were going to euthanize him. And he was actually my husband and my pet. And he just passed away last year at the ripe old age of 16. And so he taught our whole family a lot about, the love that rescue animals can share with us, as well as the things we can do for them. And with each sale of Sparkle, we donate to a shelter or a rescue.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
So you want me to show you the other ones too?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so Seaweed the turtle. Seaweed is a very bright, colorful turtle, as you can see.
Yeah.
They each have their own colored heart as well. So Seaweed, his tokens fit right on the shell, on the back of the shell, and then has a zipper pouch on the bottom. But Seaweed focuses on teaching kids all about patience and sharing and teamwork. It's a great storybook that goes along with it, but also talks about ocean conservation. So we're trying to teach kids, how to take care of the oceans and our beaches so that our sea turtles can thrive.
Yeah, that's important.
And we have one more, Jason, and that is Halo the horse. And Halo is our newest one. Halo has a little friend named Hazel. She's a miniature horse, and Hazel's being bullied by the big horses. And so in our story, Halo shares with her the kinds of things that Hazel can do when she's being bullied by the big horses. And we know that horses' emotions and human emotions are very closely aligned. And so it's great for the children to be able to relate to the kinds of things that Halo is sharing with Hazel. So that's one of our latest ones. And we're always working on designing what's next. What's next is going to be some mini bennies. So some little animals, and that will be soon coming. Yeah.
I see. So back to the interview here, I guess one of the questions I have is like, what surprised you the most about toy industry when you first began this journey of developing your own toy product?
Well, the toy industry is really tight knit. These are people who know each other and they've been together a long time. They've been in this industry for a long time. So I think from the beginning, we knew that making those connections was really important. Just even getting valuable feedback from people who have been in the industry for so long. But at the same time, I feel like they're very open to welcoming new companies, new products into their circles. It's actually kind of refreshing to see, especially in the specialty toy industry, because we feel like everyone we've talked to, other manufacturers and small business owners, are really willing to help each other out. And I think that's something that's unique about the toy industry. You're not going to find that in every industry. So
True,
for
true.
us,
Some
that's
is
pretty
more
exciting.
cutthroat. Some is very, very competitive. It's more of a
Mhm.
cutthroat environment almost. So yeah,
Yeah.
I do agree with that. So
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
how do you initially determine that like there's a market for a toy focusing on teaching character traits?
Well, I mean, personally, I feel like the market has been there for, there are other companies that have toys that focus on social and emotional learning,
True.
helping kids learn about being kind and respectful. I think the kindness movement has really ramped up in the last few years. Mindfulness now is a big deal. We've got, you see a lot of products that have these affirmation cards for kids
True.
that teach about self-awareness and emotions. And I think that's fabulous. I think it's so needed in our country, especially after the effects of COVID that we've seen lately. I think the thing that sets our products apart is that we've taken this token reward system and we've put it into a plushie, which is a little bit more interactive with the tokens. The plushie being kind of that comfort toy, and kids being able to, constantly earn those tokens. We know kids learn by repetition, right? So basically earning those tokens and putting those tokens in really kind of helps solidify that whole mind body connection, if you will. So I think it all goes hand in hand. I think for us, we want our kids, and all kids, as many kids as possible, to go out into the world and demonstrate these character traits that make us such good human beings. I mean, I know quite a few adults who could use the Benny Buddies. But, just to make it a habit so that they don't even have to think about it. It just kind of naturally happens. So that's kind of my take on it.
Can you walk us through the development process of your toy line, Toy with Purpose? Because I think you need to kind of change the traditional stuffed animal and come up with a unique design that you can put a token inside and take it out, make sure everything is still look nicely together. Like, did you hire a designer to do that, or can you just walk us through how you did the process of coming up with a design with a token in it and all that?
Sure, Jason, I can do that. So when we're ready to add a product to our line, we look at what consumers who are using our toys with a purpose have told us and are sharing with us. And we need to make sure that it's something that complements what we have with our Benny Bear and our Sparkle the Rescue Dog and Seaweed the Turtle and Halo. And an idea or an example of that would be with Seaweed the Turtle. Seaweed reinforces the character traits, but each one of them has an additional focus, and Seaweed has ocean conservation. So we can sort of have a double focus with each of our toys, and that's important as well. Just like Karalyne said with Benny Bear, that big word benevolence, what does that mean? Ocean conservation, how do we take care of the ocean and take care of our sea life? So once we've determined what the product's going to be, our next product, then we share our vision with our manufacturer, and they create samples for us. And then we get the samples and we can refine what we want it to look like, the kinds of things that we want to consider, for example, the material, the kinds of things that go along with it. And then it goes to testing. And after testing is approved, it's ready for manufacturing. So before we know it, we've created not only the character or the toy with a purpose, but we have the book that goes along with it. We have the tokens, and we've got a new Benny Buddy. So that's our process.
Okay, yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think it's important for the people that's kind of new to the industry to kind of understand the process. It depends on the complexity of the toy that we're developing. Obviously, some take a lot longer than the others,
Yes.
depending on the
Yes.
material. So, but talking about marketing strategy, what strategy have you found that's most effective in marketing your particular type of product so far?
Well, that's where you come in.
That's where I come in. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think our
Yeah.
biggest struggle, honestly, is the marketing. So just building the brand awareness. We've been
Yeah.
told that we're sort of creating our own space within the industry, which is
Yes, you are.
exciting, but
You
a
are. Yeah.
challenge at the same
Mhm.
time.
Yes. Yes.
So we're always trying to find the right keywords for Google searches, getting our social media ads running more effectively, you guys helping us with the Amazon advertising and figuring out
Yeah.
what will help the consumer understand the product and want to buy the product.
Yeah.
Just really trying a mix of paid and unpaid advertising. We've used influencers as well, and I think
Yeah.
too for us going to the trade shows, really securing the sales reps who believe in the product, who are,
Mhm.
they understand it, they understand our mission.
Yeah.
That's really important to us too, so that we can get
Mhm.
the products into the retail environment. And we try
Mhm.
to use testimonials from different demographics,
Mhm.
not just parents, but we've got childhood therapists using these. We've got teachers, we've got grandparents, aunts,
Yeah.
uncles, all kinds of people who are using the product. But yes,
Mhm.
that's our biggest challenge, is to build the brand awareness.
Yeah, because just like you mentioned, you're almost creating a brand new subcategory of a type of product that it doesn't haven't quite exist yet. So that's always a challenge when you're trying to create your own category, so to
Yeah.
speak. So, and what kind of feedback are you getting from the parents and educators so far that has been using your product line?
Yeah. Martha can speak to that probably.
Sure, I think we're getting very positive comments. We've had childhood teachers tell us that it's something that they take into their classroom and they can use it to reinforce whatever it is that they need to be sure is happening for following directions, for example, classroom manners, those kinds of things. So,
Mhm.
things that really Caroline and I had not even thought about have come to
Mm.
light from the teachers and from obviously others who are using it as well. And that's exciting
Mhm.
because it's a very versatile product. All of our animals are very versatile and can be used in so many different ways, Jason.
Yeah,
So I
sure.
think that's what we hear.
I see. I see. And uh, Caroline, can you also share how your mom, Masa, had played the role in developing and creating Bene World to begin
Yeah,
with?
yeah. Well, she loved the concept of Benny Bear right from the beginning,
Yeah.
and she wanted to be involved. And honestly, as a child, I remember my parents. I feel like they did a great job instilling these values in me and giving me these character traits. They were
Yeah.
great role models. We adopted many dogs in my childhood.
Okay.
But I guess what
Yeah.
I'm saying is I feel like I knew this was something that could come from her heart as
I
well.
see. I see.
And we had worked together in our family children's business that we owned. You mentioned the little gym. We'd worked together
Sure.
for
Yeah.
over 20 years, so we're really used to
Oh,
working
wow.
together.
Yeah.
Um, it kind of made it a natural progression. But she brings different experience too. She has experience in the corporate world. She even helped manage a partnership with Lego
Oh,
um,
wow.
for
Nice.
the little gym years ago. And
Yeah.
so, and we were both teachers. She actually had her own curriculum company where she would write curriculum for
Oh,
teachers. She would go around the
okay.
country doing these workshops for teachers. So
Oh, nice.
she
Amazing.
she has knowledge about certain aspects of the business that I don't have, and that's
Sure.
been really great. I feel like we complement each other pretty well. And we do love traveling together. So we're always up for a trip and going to the trade shows and
Great show.
meeting new people. We're pretty friendly. So
Yeah.
it's been a good transition for both of us, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting dynamic because you met Annie, which is my sister, which is
Mhm.
also working in my business. Family business always have a different dynamic, and also trying to create a culture around it. So, and I guess my next question is, how did you mention about you both being a teacher for many years? How did your experience as a teacher influence the design and the educational aspect of the toy that you currently are developing?
Sure. So, having been a teacher, both Karalyne and I had a lot of different products that we used through the years. And sometimes when I was using things that had been made, Jason, I realized that they weren't as effective in the teaching process as they could have been. It's
Yeah.
always easy to say, oh, I wish it were, or I wish it had this or it had that. But that was
Mhm.
truly the situation. So we've tried to take those things into consideration with the Benny Buddies. So we make them as customer friendly and as teacher friendly, as parent friendly as possible. One thing that we thought with the teaching situation is that it needs to be fun. For example, Karalyne mentioned the different behavior modifications charts that she had used with her children and how one was just like the other one and just like the other one. But these are different. The Benny Buddies are different. And so in the teaching process, the teachers can use them and tell us that kids have a lot of fun. They get excited about it. And I think that's an important aspect of it too.
I see. Okay, thank you for sharing that. And as you two know, my main passion is helping kids with neurodivergence and with special needs. And I know your product can be also be used in therapeutic setting. Can you kind of share how the product is currently being utilized in those kind of therapy setting? Could be occupational therapy or other type of therapy right now.
Yeah. No, we can share what we've heard. So I think the biggest thing to know or to recognize is that especially for kids who need that sensory input, having the comfort toy, like I mentioned, having that plush is huge for them. Having the
Yeah.
tokens as being something tangible that kids can use and manipulate and practice, even hand-eye coordination, putting them in the plushies and taking them out, even just working on the zipper pouch. But I think too, one of the awards that we won was the Autism Live Social Skills Builder Award for
Mhm.
preschoolers. And that was
Yeah.
our Sparkle, the rescue dog, and Seaweed the turtle, because they
Mhm.
recognized it really gives kids who are on the spectrum a chance to participate in the ABA, the Applied
Mm.
Behavioral
Behavioral
Therapy,
analysis. Yes.
because the therapist gives the child a goal to work toward. And
Mm.
in this case, it would be some kind of behavior modification
Yes.
that they're working on. And when the child accomplishes that goal and shows that behavior or that skill or that character trait or that habit, whatever they're working on, then obviously they get to earn that reward. And all of
Yeah.
those tokens, add
And
up.
by the way, don't tell that to my wife. I feel like my wife will want to behavior modify myself too.
As I said, there are some adults that could use these for sure. Um,
I do need some behavior modification sometimes myself. I have
but
some
that's
bad habits.
I mean, that,
So,
and we've even heard from a couple of speech therapists that were like, "Oh,
yes.
this has saved my therapy sessions," So it's
Okay.
it's fun to hear how they're being used in different ways like that.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
another thing, Jason, is that it automatically helps with the conversation to get the conversation started when the therapist and the child are meeting. And so that's a big plus in being able to move from step one to step two and accomplish what the therapist is trying to accomplish with the child. And the child feels good about it, feels good about the
Mhm.
therapy session.
Yeah. Because
Absolutely.
it's very like you have many different uses. Plus, you have a book, so that's where the education value can really come in. Because and you're just not just playing with the plush, but you're also teaching one of the value at the same time, reading the book. So and yeah, and I think that's one thing that's make it very unique compared to other product on the market. So as well, wrapping up today's interview here today, usually the final question I ask every single guest is this: if you had to just share one piece of advice with someone that's getting started in the toy industry, what would that be?
Uh, I think I would say if you have an idea for a toy or a product that you feel like will benefit the world in some way, make a difference, something that kids can use and really get a lot of joy out of it. I feel like you should do your research, but also follow your gut.
Yeah.
Don't be intimidated by the larger companies out there. Everybody's got to start somewhere, right? And for us, I feel like to know that something we created is being used and enjoyed by different kids and adults. I mean, it takes time to build brand awareness, know that going in, but also just keep at it and just be proud of what you have created.
Created. Yeah, for sure.
And don't
Thank
be
you so
afraid to make mistakes because they will happen.
100%.
Lots of mistakes.
Hopefully they won't be ones that are real costly, but you will make those mistakes. And so you can look at them as a way to springboard sort of a strengthening of your business acumen so that you minimize the opportunity to have those mistakes recur. I think to consult and surround yourself with knowledgeable people in the industry is super important. And take the advice that they give you that makes sense for you. And then that will help you, I think, become profitable as soon as possible.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that wisdom with the listener. So where can the listener and the audience find you?
Yeah, they can find us at bennybeargiving.com. They can email us at info@bennybeargiving.com or, give us a call at our home office.
Okay, I'll also make sure we include a link in the chat. And thank you both of you for being on the podcast today and sharing the background story and all the wonderful product that you have designed. Are you launching any more product this year besides the horse?
We are working.
They're working on more. Okay.
We're working on situational cards, Jason, that will be what would a child choose to do in certain situations. And we're also working on the mini bennies. So these will be small ones, and they'll focus on friendship. So we'll have 3 mini bennies that focus on friendship. And we hope
nice. Okay.
hope to have them out, by the first of the year. We never want to overpromise, but it could be. We're excited about those as well.
Yeah. Okay. That would be very, very excited and wonderful addition to the existing product line for sure. So yeah, but thank you two for both being on the show and sharing all the story. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.